Hey all, welcome to Homestead. So today I am going to try to build a brooder. We watched Sow the Land. Great follow if you haven't. Check them out. Check them out. Definitely, I'll try to put a link down here for their channel. And they have a nice brooder setup that we're going to try to kind of copy here in the back of what we call the bunny barn, even though there's no bunnies in it. So anyway, we're just gonna, I'm gonna clean this out, but what I'm gonna try and do is not spend any money on this brooder. We've been using the, let's see if you can see it off there in the distance, one of the big water tubs, and those have worked fine, sitting in the mud room, but we kind of like to have them out of there, and we just really like the setup that Sow the Land has. So I'm going to try to sift through all of this. Well, not the new chicken tractor. Gonna make progress on that later, but gonna repurpose the old coop. I talked about it with Shauna, and she seems to be on board with the idea that we're never gonna really put this one back together, at least not the way that it was. It worked fine for us. It was a good purchase. It did its purpose, but well, one panel's already destroyed, but we're just never going to really use it. I kept it because it's material that we can repurpose, like I'm going to try to do today. So that's what I'm going to get working on here, and we'll see if there's anything interesting for you to see while I do it. Now, first thing is looking at these panels. I think I can bend these tabs out and then just take the wood slats that are in here and cut them the way that I need to. I was thinking about originally trying to use the metal frame and maybe welding something together, but that ended up being too heavy and it wouldn't have the shape that I really wanted to, and I'm just not that proficient at all of that to make that an ideal choice at this time. So I'm gonna try to just utilize what I can and see how far into making a brooder we can get with this glorious weather. Here we go. All right, so here's the general area this is gonna go. So let's see how big we need. About 5 by 3 should do. So let's see what we got, if we got material that's gonna make that possible. I'm thinking these panels here, sorry for jostling you around like that, would be good side panels. Obviously we'll use those as either a base or a backing. Well, I've got over 4 feet there, well, about 4 feet to here, so that's good. Probably 4.5 feet of usable material on that piece. Just shy of 4 feet on that one. But it is wider. A little over 2.5. 3 on that one. And then the other two's got some holes. I mean, this one's got a hole in it there too, but the other one's got more significant holes to work around. So I was thinking of using this side piece as maybe a basis for a floor, and then the material can drop through, but it's a little bit big. I could line it with some leftover 1x welded wire or something, but I don't know. I'm gonna have to kind of think that one through my head a little bit. So I think, yeah, I'm not sure. I don't know if I want to have a solid base and then just clean it out. I think the welded wire will be too much for the little guys, and I want to I want to put pine shavings on there. So I think solid base is probably going to be the best. Although, could do one where I can lift up, but the pine shavings won't go through. I'll figure it out. So I'm going to go deconstruct those and see what I can actually use from them. Look at this again. I think rather than 5 by 3, I'll do, well, I can even still do a 5 by 3 because I can use these two pieces. Actually, no, if I do a 4 by 3, let's see what that would look like here. I think that'll be fine, and I'm not really sacrificing much more than a foot because we're probably not going to have more than 20 of them in there at a time. 4 by 3, that's 12 square feet. Should be okay. Still thinking this through. It will be 3 by 5, and I'll show you how. Got each one of these are going to get down to 3 feet. That's going to give me a plus foot of scrap. Each one of those is over 4 feet. I can use the plus foot of scrap to make those 5 foot. Makes sense. So take the 1 off of there, add it to the 4 there. 5 by 3. Got it. Okay, so I got it finished. I was kind of surprised. You saw kind of as I was going along, I made some last minute changes, like the bottom. I was originally going to remove the frame, and I was like, why? I just need to put a frame on it anyway. So I put it kind of back in the frame, gave it some reinforcement, gave it some really basic legs. Wasn't really checking square on most anything. The dimensions ended up being a little shy. It's 3 deep like this, but it's a little shy of 5 feet, so it's closer to 4.5, maybe just a touch over 4 actually. And that just because the bottom piece was already there, so I'm not going to bulk at it. This should be more than enough. It's about 1 foot deep, so this should be more than enough to act as a brooder for the hens that we hatch out. You know, probably not going to be doing much more than 20 at a time. And again, we're not planning on ordering a lot more birds. We may order some layers in the future, but just to kind of replenish, give some new stock. But we're going to try and do local sourcing or breed our own. And then obviously with our meat birds, with the breasties, we're trying to hatch out. We've actually got some in the incubator right now. We're going to give our first hatch out and see how it goes. And now we've got a perma brooder to do this. Now I just got to haul it over to the other side here and put it in place. If you have any questions on anything I did or why I did stuff, or if you just want to berate my safety practices, that's fine too. Be kind. Other than that, God be with you all in all that you do. And remember, keep the faith, and definitely keep up the fight. God bless.